My world is with my girls, living on the dance floor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Leave It on the Dance Floor. I am currently on location in Orlando, Florida. And this particular area is beautiful. It's called Windermere. And I am with Gary Pate. Yes, the man of the hour, I'm telling you guys. Gary is a mogul. He is a dance competition mogul. He got in at the beginning. He created an amazing product. Sorry,
With the help of many good people.
well, he's riding the waves like pandemic and
Ugh.
back stronger than ever, and this and that, and you've done it all, and you've done it well. You've
And
done
so
it
have
the
you.
best.
And so have you.
Oh,
I mean, we go
look
way
at
back.
that moment.
We go way back. By the way, we go way back. I mean, what, 35 years maybe
I know.
more.
Know that you
DEA
were that
days.
much older than me, though, because you looked so young.
Oh, stop.
Still,
Stop.
no,
Thank
no, no.
you. Thank you.
No, but when you were probably 25, I thought you were 15.
I didn't even start Starpower until I was almost 40. Yeah, I mean, 36.
Yeah, see, you were older than I.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had a dance competition first. Okay, let's go back. So I want to know more about your dance studio, and I want to know why you started to go to dancing school. Like, here's this little kid in Maryland. You were from that area. How did
Yeah,
you?
it was because of my mom. My mom was a dance teacher up until 95. Oh yeah, she passed away just last year. Yeah, she was 99. And we were trying to get her to be
100
because we were going to throw a big party.
Yeah.
Because we threw a big party at 90, and then we were I thought it would carry her to the
Yeah,
90.
yeah,
It
yeah.
did almost carry her to
man.
100. She was like I don't know, maybe 6 months shy of being 100. So but she was like Miss DC, I mean, she was really involved and wanted her son to be. I was supposed to be a girl. You know what I mean? When I was born.
Yeah, I was supposed to be a boy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have something in common.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So anyway, what I went to dance school, and she wanted me to take from a guy. So I went to Cash Warner, who was big in DMA at the time.
Okay, Cash
It
Warner.
was called Cash Warner School of Dance. I think
Okay.
both of them, Louise, who my dance teacher had a major crush on, by the way, just a major.
You had a major crush on your
My
dance
dance
teacher.
teacher, oh my God, she wore these beautiful satin tap shoes that matched. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Look how beautiful you are.
This is the
Yeah.
where we're looking.
Okay. Oh, we're looking at that.
That
Okay.
greenery.
All right. You
Yeah.
never know.
Okay.
And
with me.
okay.
So I didn't know your mother was a dance teacher.
Yeah.
See, I say it all the time. People always ask me about boys and dance and people that have little boys and putting them in dance. I'm like, look, I know a lot of straight guys that are dance teachers, that are dancers, professional dancers. And most of them, their mothers were their dance teachers. And they had to do it. Like maybe they played football, and after football practice, they had to run to the dance studio and lift some girls and do this and do that. But
Oh,
you did other things.
I can name hundreds.
Hundreds, yes.
Hundreds of them.
So don't assume things, people, even though it's Pride Month.
Yeah.
So we're giving a shout out. But you are what you are. You're born this way, as Lady Gaga said it. It doesn't matter if you go to dancing school or not. It's not going to change who you are.
Well, the unfortunate
Well, it's going
thing
to
of
change
that,
for the better.
yeah,
dancing school.
absolutely. But the unfortunate thing back then, there were no dance competitions. So my mom would take me to state fairs, and I would tap dance in the dirt. That's a fact. I mean, seriously, any chance I could get to get in front of people.
See,
yeah.
it was an audience, a
Oh.
live audience. And I talk about my mom
Yeah.
all the time, having her studios in Miami, and there were opportunities. They didn't have to go to the state fair.
Yeah.
They were at the Fontainebleau.
I'm in Riverdale, Maryland. So,
Right.
it's
So
like-
you're looking for opportunities to entertain an audience, to get up on stage, to do your thing. And a lot of people need to look at dance competitions that way. It's not about winning, not winning, whatever. It's about getting up on that stage. And we'll talk about that as we go on.
sure.
But you're paying for the stage and the lighting and the sound guy and all of this, and they're exorbitant expenses.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
The cost of venues now. Just,
It's crazy.
and
And
when we-
that's, people have to realize, though, when you put your kid in competition, think of it that way. Think about a place for your child to perform. Quit worrying about who's going to win.
yeah, I mean, because it's such an art form, it's an opinion. I stand on stage for the last 40 years saying it's only an opinion. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to be judged by that. None of those kids will ever be judged by a trophy, plaque, medal, or ribbon in their lifetime. They won't be.
No.
So you have to look at it that way and look at it as an opportunity and experience to gain an opportunity to get stage presence in front of people.
That's
kind of
what it is, learning about the stage. And when people ask me about competition tips, and I always say, when you get to the competition, don't run to the dressing room. Don't run to find your studio. Go and sit in the audience. Look at the backs of the heads. Who are the judges? Don't give all this face and emotion to the sound guy or to the tabulator that are on the end. Figure out who's judging. What do they have on? What color are they wearing?
Oh, that's great advice.
Look at the back of their heads
Yes.
and see where the aisles are. Do they line up with somebody's head? Figure it out. So when you step on stage, you know where you need to be on that face.
Well, some of the parents out there are probably doing that as well. They're doing that to help their son or daughter.
Yeah, but the
be-
kid has to.
Oh,
think for
absolutely. I'm sure they're.
All right, so let's go back. So you're in high school or middle school.
I'm in
You're
middle
going to
school.
the state fair, dancing in the dirt.
And I said to my mom, I want to play sports. And she was devastated. So I quit dancing at the
Mhm.
age of 14, 13.
It gets tough for
I know,
guys.
I know.
Were you teased? And
No,
stuff?
not at all, because I
Your
was
mom owned the studio.
no, my
so it
mom,
was-
no, but I was taken at a different studio now. So I was like the comedy guy. So I was always getting a solo that was funny to the audience. I couldn't wait for our recitals and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed that.
So the kids at school didn't give you a hard
No,
time.
because I was playing sports and I was good because I danced, because I took all those acrobatic classes, because I could tumble. And that all helped me later on. Not
Right.
only my dance ability, but it really fostered my career when I got in college.
Whoa. Okay.
So
All right. So nobody teased you. Your mother owned the studio, and you weren't going to another studio, but you could do everything at school, and they liked you. You were
Yeah,
likable.
and in my I was class president. I was like,
So
I was like the dude, you know what I mean? Like
you made sure class president in high school.
yeah,
Well, see,
and junior high.
Oh, and junior high.
It was junior high back then.
Junior high,
They called
yeah.
that. It's called
Okay.
middle school now.
yeah, I know. But I went to junior high too.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So now you graduate from high school.
I
But-
graduated.
okay, but your mother sends you to another studio. And I
Because
thought-
they had a man teacher there that she wanted me to take from.
Right.
Because he was president of Dance Masters at one time too as well.
Okay.
His name was L. Warner. So look that up.
Nothing to do with Dolores Warner. No,
No,
but you know that name.
yes.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah, okay.
Not to
All right, so I'm showing my age. Okay,
So am I.
so you, okay, but your mom wanted you to take from a guy,
Yeah.
but I'm a very good guy teacher. I've trained a lot
Yeah,
of
you
guys.
are. You're dynamite at that.
So don't think you have to have a guy teacher, but your mother,
Fantastic.
you already had your mom.
Yeah, my mom wasn't good at that.
Okay, so your mom sent, okay, what I was gonna say there was a lot of dance studio owners' children have taken from me. They drive them to me or their dad brings them to me because, girls and their mothers kind of hit a
Right.
13, 14-year-old thing.
Yes.
You have two daughters,
I have
you
two
know,
daughters.
so you get that and it's hard to teach your own kid. So send them to somebody else.
Noelle, my oldest daughter, is still asking me to finish her solo that I started. You heard the story at my birthday party. She still said, Dad, can you finish my solo? Or are there any teachers out here that can finish my solo? Because I never finished it. There was a solo that I never.
But you finished every other kid's.
Oh, absolutely finished all the other kids.
And you know how that story goes,
Well,
like
they
the
were paying the bills.
shoemaker's, the
They were paying-
shoemaker's kid goes shoeless because he's making everybody else's shoes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, poor
Yeah,
Noelle.
yeah.
All right, now you're in high school.
I'm in high school. I graduate. I go to the University of Maryland, and I'm in a fraternity called Alpha Tau Omega.
But you're not, what's your major?
My major is political science. I'm going to be an attorney.
There you go.
Okay.
See, people, you go to college for something you need that piece of paper for, not dance. But
Right.
don't
It
tell
wasn't-
Jill she was just here, but she can't hear us.
Oh no, she
Okay.
wanted to be a tree. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
she
and
wanted
she
to
wanted
hug a
contemporary
tree. Yeah,
art.
she wanted all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I get it. But no, I wanted to. I didn't have any aspirations to be in dance at that particular time.
Right. But it was your thing, your stick.
Yeah, I
And
mean, my mom
sports.
was still having her thing and still
Yeah.
doing it, and
Okay.
we had she had a studio and still whatever.
Okay. Did she own a building or was she like
No,
tap dancing
renting.
in the basement.
Tap dancing in the basement teaching back then.
Okay, yeah, that's what
Small.
people did back
Small.
then.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes,
Couldn't
okay.
afford to do that.
Yeah,
So I go to University of Maryland, and I'm a political science major, and one of my fraternity brothers at Alpha Omega came to me and said, they're having cheerleading tryouts. I
oh,
go,
Gary,
"Go-
this is
it's-
good. This is gonna be better than I ever thought this podcast.
Okay, well, this guy was a really handsome guy. His name was Rick Fries from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And he goes, yeah, he was cool. His name was Rick Fries. Anyway,
Okay.
so he says, I'm gonna go try out. Come on, you can go. I got a little dance background, right?
But at this point, there's no male cheerleaders.
No,
No,
there's no,
unheard of.
this is 1977, 76, okay? Way before,
In the
probably
1900s.
everybody on this podcast wasn't born yet. So anyway, we go,
They weren't
he
even born
he
when
talks
dance
me
was.
into going and trying out because, we're gonna meet all the girls.
Right. Oh, that's the behind
Plus
it.
I could tumble.
You
I
could-
could
okay.
flip.
You
and
could
stuff.
tumble.
Yeah, and
He's trying out. You're
yeah.
gonna meet the girls.
And
Okay.
it's when Maryland was like the UCLA of the East. We're fantastic. The place is packed, everything. I looked at it as opportunity to perform in front of people.
Yeah, then you have a whole.
Oh God,
Stadium of all these
we
fans.
were like number 1 and number 2 in the nation
Okay.
in basketball.
Oh,
So we go try out, and of course we make it because nobody else was there
okay.
except
Those
us.
guys?
Yeah. Oh
Now,
yeah.
was he as good as you? Be honest.
No, because he couldn't tumble like I could. He wasn't as good, and he didn't dance. But okay, so we rustled up some other guys, so we had a whole team, and it was great. So
Did that school buy your uniforms and stuff?
oh my God, yes, yeah, megaphones. We're talking, we're doing all that.
Okay, so wait. I want to know what
You
your
can't. Everybody out there, don't tell anybody this story. Okay, this is fun.
Okay, so what's your pass? Like if you had to audition today, and you're same talent as you were back then, what's your pass that you do? Your go-to gymnastic series of tricks?
Oh, it's my back handspring in the Randolph back handspring. Yeah.
That's it? Right up back
Oh
handspring?
no, I could do side aerial and stupid stuff like that.
Okay,
But I
okay.
mean, but that was unheard of back then to be doing that on a basketball court.
And
to
you're
do.
6'1" at the time.
I'm 6'1" at the time.
Oh, wow.
And not very limber, by the
Okay.
way. So I'm like struggling through this. But anyway, because those days were gone. But
All right.
So anyway, so I tried out for the team. We make it. And then Candy, who's the captain of this cheerleading squad,
A girl.
yes,
Yes.
says, Gary, I understand you can dance, and your mom, you took dance class. She goes, will you choreograph a halftime show? I go, okay, I will. So I said yes. We did Big Spender with the guys with hats on and cigars, and the place went crazy, and I was hooked forever. And then
That's an amazing
I
story.
don't know about it being amazing, but it was.
Yes.
I was hooked. I was
Because
hooked.
now-
for it.
College dance team thing, you invented it back then and you didn't even know that.
I didn't even
It's a-
know.
it's a
I know. How did I miss that
You
curve?
you missed
Well,
that curve. Okay.
Well, so a girl that I used to date at the studio called me and said, after she saw all of this stuff,
Yes.
she said, we should open a studio. I'm going,
And what grade are you in now?
I'm I'm just about to graduate from college.
Oh.
Because okay. We have to open a studio. And I go,
And she grew up with you at your.
yeah, she grew
studio.
up, we dated
Big
for,
guy.
yeah. She grew, no, it's a girl.
But did she go to the studio with the male
Cashier.
teacher?
She went to
That's
the
where she went. Okay.
She
All
went
right. So she's not your mom's student.
Right. And
Okay.
she was a really good dancer too. So we opened a studio together, and we opened up with, I think it was like 25 kids.
Candyland? What was it called?
No, Candy was the Candy Kane was my cheerleading captain.
Oh,
who
okay, I got
asked me to
confused.
do it.
Okay. Okay.
And Jackie,
And you choreographed and she saw the choreography you did and
Yeah.
thought, let's open a studio.
yeah, let's open the studio.
You were planning to go to law school.
I was planning to go to law school or go into sales, which I actually
Okay,
did.
okay,
I
yes.
did as well.
Okay.
So
So what's the girl's name you opened the studio with?
Jackie.
Jackie. Okay. So Jackie's a
It was
great
called
dancer.
GJ Dance Studio.
Oh, Jackie and Gary.
Yeah.
G,
No, Gary and Jackie.
Gary and Jackie.
I got top billing on
Yes,
that.
yes, of
Anyway.
course.
So
So how'd you come up with the money?
well, it didn't cost us much. We went around and passed flyers out all throughout the community in order to get people to come. And we
Okay.
got like, I don't know, 25 or 30 kids came. The
Okay.
funny thing about the story is that we were in a building, and we were on the second floor with the dance studio. And down below us was a pediatrician.
Oh, well, that's kids. That's kids though.
Yes, it was kids and it helped my business, but it didn't help his because he's like trying to listen to their heart. And he's hearing tap dancing going on upstairs. So we had to move and get another building. And then the rest is history. We built this. I did it.
Which is funny that the landlord would rather keep the pediatrician than the dance
Oh,
studio.
definitely, definitely.
You had way
We were
more
out.
kids coming in and
Yeah,
out. than he did.
he wanted us out
Okay.
there because we were destroying the pediatrician's business downstairs.
Okay.
But we had
So you would think that every kid that got hurt would run right downstairs. right?
exactly. What do
Right.
you think? We,
All right.
we weren't hurting anybody though.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, of course. I mean, it was
Anyway.
good training. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, was this back in the day, like when the mats would fall down
Yes,
the
yes,
back of the
yes,
car? And you had to
yes,
drag them out?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
yes.
So, but you had an actual studio. You had bars and mirrors and,
Yeah, well, at first we didn't have any mirrors. We didn't have anything. You know,
Okay.
we had mats because I was teaching acro.
okay.
Okay, because that was kind of my background. So, and tap. Yeah, yeah. So I was teaching that and
And see, I always say when little boys start to dance, don't push them into ballet and lyrical and don't make them do that. Do tap and gymnastics and maybe hip hop. And then let them love it. And then they're gonna want to take ballet because they see the girls are better than them.
that's great advice.
Yeah.
And they
Okay.
have such an
They don't want
advantage.
to take
You
ballet.
you know, guys have such an advantage in the dance world. It's just,
And you lived it.
I lived it.
And now
I
you
mean,
see it on the
yeah,
stage.
because I was doing like also got involved in plays and doing musical theater and stuff like that to give me that background. That was
And you sang.
yeah. I sang in bands. I was in bands for I don't know 15, 20
Really?
years. Yeah.
And like
Like
the
I played drums and
the
sang.
Rat Pack.
Yeah, we had
Like-
Gary and the Diamonds, Gary and the Nighthawks. There were a lot of bands. We had some really great times playing.
This is
weddings,
amazing because I didn't know some of this stuff. And like I was the kid that was always putting on a show in the garage.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
You're
like I
still
was,
putting on a show. She's
yeah.
still putting on a show.
and I hit some girl, Linda Garland, over the head with the baton. And my mother had to give her free dancing lessons.
Oh my
forever.
God.
Because she was listening to me and I was like,
Mm.
wake up,
How old were you then when that happened?
probably 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. You get away with it then.
Little kid, yeah, I
Yeah,
was a little
yeah.
kid. I also went door to door collecting for muscular dystrophy, but really so we could just go to grants and spend the money. And some lady up the street from us, Mrs. Roscoe, called my mom and said, "Do you know that your daughter is collecting for muscular dystrophy?" And my mom was like, "What?" Yeah. But then we made up for it because we used to have carnivals in the backyard every summer.
Okay.
And big carnivals where we get people to donate TVs, the stores and
Oh,
stuffed
wow.
animals.
Wow.
And you went around and played stuff. And yeah, and then did you ever have haunted houses where you staple gunned the blankets to the ceiling in the garage to make like make paths for
I
people?
never did that.
Oh,
I
okay.
never did that.
All right, well, you were much more professional in
I
Maryland.
don't know.
Okay, so you're at a fair dancing on stage and I was in my garage. Okay. So you graduate from college, you open a studio, you get in trouble.
But I also go to work for 3M company.
Oh,
When I
yeah, the tape.
yeah, it's like they make 55,000 products at the time I was there. So
Good tape.
every day you will use a 3M product, whether you're brushing your teeth or whether you see a road sign or whether it's a stripe on the road, anything that sticks anywhere, that's 3M. I worked for them for 10 years while I opened my studio. I opened a construction company. I kept busy.
What
Until
was
find
the
out-
construction company? Why did you
We
open a
built spec
construction-
homes. It's called Vanguard Construction, and we built spec homes that we'd put up. And
Did
then-
you want to be in,
No, I just know that there was opportunities in real estate. That's why I did that.
and how did you learn that?
Through a gentleman, I worked in a men's clothing store when I was like 11, in 11th grade, 11th grade.
King.
Yeah, I mean, guys, that's true.
It's who you know,
it's-
okay? And what you learned from those people.
Yeah,
Yes.
two of my best customers when I was selling them clothes were construction guys, and they said, "You should do this. You got the personality to do it."
Right.
And we did.
Well,
So
that's the thing, and we talked about sales, Gary. I was told by several people, you should go into real estate because you could sell anybody anything.
it's true.
And,
believe that.
but in sales, okay, let's just go back for a second to all my ALDC elites that are watching. I often talk about who's the kid in the front and the middle, the kid going, "Look at me, look at me, look at me," or the kid that goes into the interview in a pageant and they do so well. That confidence, that chutzpah, moxie, those are the words I would use to describe
And
it.
that's hard to teach.
You can't teach that.
Yeah.
It is so hard to teach.
Yeah.
It's in a kid. It's in the kid, and it was in Gary Pate. He had it, and you could sell them the men's clothes. You learned about the construction, you went into it, you did it, and everything keeps working out. I want to hear about the bad luck you had, but okay, we're not going to. I mean, it's like
Listen, with
everything
every
was good,
success,
everything worked out well. Like,
well,
did you ever
with
lose
every
business?
with every success, there's probably 5 failures.
Okay,
You know what I
all
mean?
right, good to
yeah,
know.
really. So yeah,
Okay.
like the construction company didn't work out. It hit a bad turn in the economy back then.
Okay,
And so I opted out and went a different direction. But I was leading my sales division at 3M. So it afforded me the opportunity to be able to try all these different things. Because in sales, if you're doing well and meeting your target,
right.
they don't bother you. So you can do anything you want to do. You know,
So you're not in an office, have to be there from 9
no,
to
I'm
5.
calling
You
on the
just-
federal government while I'm driving to my dance studio to teach at night in a suit. I mean,
Okay.
whatever. That was 4 nights a week. I
Okay,
mean,
wow.
we grew from
And
35 students to 2,000 students when we left.
did you all just hear that? His studio had 2,000 students.
Combination, no, a complete gymnastics studio on 5,000 square feet behind the dance studio. So when I had a dancer, a gymnast that has been at probably 9 or 10, knowing that they could not progress any further,
They came to dancing
they
school.
came to dancing school and they were amazing dancers.
Yeah, the leaps, the
Yeah,
jumps.
yeah, the leaps, the
their
jumps.
ballon,
Yes,
their
exactly.
elevation.
And the listening power, because in gymnastics, if you don't listen, and you could really injure yourself. So they listened.
Gary, I lived with 3 All-American gymnasts at Pitt,
Okay.
and every single finger had been broken
Yeah.
on both hands.
Yeah.
Their pelvic bones were shattered.
Mhm.
It's a sport.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a sport.
Yeah.
And I'm like, couldn't your mom and dad just pay for college after all this?
I know, but they make
Alright.
fabulous dancers
Okay, so
in most cases.
you filtered them from gymnastics school into the dance studio, everything's booming, and you have this big gym. What was the name of the gymnastics school? Still JG?
No, it's still
TJ.
GJ, and it was
TJ.
called Saints Gymnastics. It's
Saints.
SAINTS, Saints Gymnastics, and we had some amazing gymnasts there, and we hired a coach that came in from Canada that was superb and great.
Okay.
But it was
Okay, so interest to me, you're a young guy, you're doing this, you're getting older, you're doing it. Now you hire a coach to come in. Did he get like a 401k and a this and a that, or were you still operating like the mom and pop gymnastics?
we were
or
still
dance
operating
studios?
kind of mom and pop, but he was getting paid
Well, yeah.
very well.
Right,
And for him to move down there because
Well, yeah.
it was hard to find good gymnastic coaches.
I know.
That
They,
you
we
could
had
trust.
they had to defect from other countries.
Yeah, and this bigger guy was.
It's
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
On the dance floor.
Every day, my email gets flooded with requests from kids, parents. Can you do a short little video for my daughter's bat mitzvah or whatever, this, that, or the other thing? Yes, I can, but you have to go through Cameo. That's cameo.com/TheRealAbbyLee. I can wish you a happy birthday. I can congratulate you on your recent dance competition win. I can do just about anything, even a little constructive criticism, because let's face it, that's what I do best. So please go to Cameo and book your video from me. That's cameo.com/TheRealAbbyLee. Go, go, go.
All right, so you have a big gymnastics school, you have a big dance studio, 2,000 kids. That's amazing. That's like,
Well, I created a group called the Superstars, and if any of them are watching, that was the Superstars was an amazing group because it was a heavy blend of acrobatics / gymnastics and dance. And that wasn't happening a lot back in the early 80s, when I was.
right, there were dancers and there were gymnasts,
Yeah,
and you were throwing those big tricks in.
Big tricks in, and they looked forward to the Superstars to actually perform at a competition.
But
other
but
people
wait,
cheered for
is
them.
there competition at this point?
Yes. And
Wait.
it's showstoppers, it's
Okay, because
showbiz,
it
it's
wasn't until,
StarQuest, all those guys are
wait,
starting.
so the first competition in Pittsburgh ever,
Mhm.
I was 13. So I'm gonna do the math.
Do you hear anything? I hear the wheels grinding over there when she's doing the math. Yeah.
So 48 years ago. So we didn't have competition until, so what's?
Well, we opened in
25.
'87. We opened in '87. And I ran DEA's competitions for 6 years prior to that. And my mother and I and my father opened a once a year competition called Star Maker in Ocean City, Maryland. Once a year.
Okay, so I don't know how that happened because I'm younger than you.
Yeah. That's okay. That's
I'm younger
okay.
than you.
Yeah.
But you already had a competition before we started in Pennsylvania. So, okay, so you had a once a year competition with your mom and dad and
Yeah,
you.
that was
And it
probably,
was like, was
it
it
was-
outdoor, like?
no,
on
it was
a-
at the convention center in Ocean City, Maryland,
Okay, and so, but
once a year in
you
the summer.
were a member of Dance Educators.
Yes.
You took
I
your
was-
test and you,
I took my test.
was your mother a
Don
member of
Crafton,
that?
you know the name?
Oh my God, I know Dawn Crafton, of
Don
course.
Crafton, what a brilliant teacher
She
she
was.
was. She was
She-
so
she-
amazing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And she still has her studio and
And where is that?
and her daughter, I think her daughter teaches there now. I haven't seen him in a while.
Where is she? Where's Dawn from?
She's from Maryland. She's from Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dawn Crafton was
Taught with her.
DEA,
DEA.
and she was a dance master person, though. That's how I know her. But because it was that crossover.
Right.
All right, so now you're a member of DEA.
Right. Well, actually, we were competing at DEA, and Grace Wakefield, who was my partner at Starpower at the beginning,
Okay,
was judging my kids. Okay, they were
okay,
he-
this is not the story I know,
yeah,
but okay.
judging my kids, came over to me at the end of the competition and said, "Oh my God," because this was a time when there were no stages.
It was on the
It
floor.
was on the floor,
Like a
And-
ballroom
yeah,
floor.
and you know the judges are looking at you on the ballroom floor. My kids are
Like-
flipping all over, and one of them almost landed on Grace. So she comes over to me and she goes, "Oh my God, that was an amazing number." Blah, 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 blah.
Uh-huh.
I'd like you to come and think about help. She was executive director for DEA at the time. She said, "I'd like you to come and help me with my competitions." I was wearing a suit then. I wore a suit
Always.
to the competitions. Yeah.
Because you were-
It was
like, you want to look nice.
I want to look good. So she says, "I like what your kids did," and blah, blah, blah. And that was the start of us. And for 6 years, we banged out DEA. It was huge.
So you were winning,
when,
winning. Now you join her
yeah.
and you start this competition at DEA, or that was already started.
Well, it's Starpower. Well,
No,
there was a
wait.
competition at DEA.
DEA
And then I helped her
start
to
only.
grow that part of the business.
Okay, so the
Was
story
competition
that
director.
I knew was that you and Grace started the competition so it was already started, but you came in and made it bigger,
Bigger.
better.
When I went to their championships at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City, championships, they had 35 acts. When
Ah.
I left, they had like 2,000. I said, anyway,
Okay,
and
so
I decided that I could do this on my own.
you don't need, because the money, DEA is a non-for-profit
nonprofit.
organization.
Yeah,
So all this
wonderful
money is
organization.
filtering in,
Yeah,
and it's like, wait a minute, I'm doing all this work. I could be doing it for myself.
yeah. Plus running the studio, doing all these other things.
Yeah.
I was.
Are you no longer with 3M, and you're no longer
Still with
doing
3M.
construction? Oh,
Still with-
3M.
I'm
You
still-
see, he's getting that insurance.
Yep.
He's getting that pension. He's getting all that. I
Couldn't give
didn't
it
do
up.
that.
I
That
couldn't
was-
get,
that was-
I couldn't give it up. You know what I mean?
Never mind. Should've-
Yeah, no, this is all part-time stuff that I'm doing, even helping DEA, grow their business. So, which is a wonderful organization and has a great deal of merit. Back then, I don't know much about them now, so I really don't know.
No, I don't know.
I went in a completely different direction. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
okay,
yeah,
So now you and Grace,
are running DEA.
yes, and now you're going to open your own competition.
Well, I said after 6 years, it's time, for me to do something, do my own thing.
Do your own thing.
And
But
so-
Grace want to come with you.
She wanted to, but she stayed at DEA for a while, and then she came over after 2 years. And we had, my first year judging, I had Frank Hatchett, Gus Giordano, Charles Kelly. Don Crafton was judging. We had an elite group in 11 cities.
In 11 cities, you
And won
started,
championships.
but did you start with 11? Or did you start with,
Started with 11 at Starpower
okay,
and won championship in Atlantic City.
but people knew you from DEA?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
not-
I think some did, some didn't.
Okay.
Some of them weren't members, you know.
Yeah, so this
We
was a
were
new.
creating another
Now,
membership.
what were there other, so Hawkters was around?
Oh, yeah, and I taught for them
Oh,
many
you
years.
did?
I taught for, oh my
You
God,
wore
yes.
the Red jacket?
Yeah, no, I didn't wear the red jacket. I taught for them. I taught for Hawkters, I taught for Art Stone, I taught for DMA,
That's Dance
DEA.
Olympus, right?
Yeah, Dance Olympus.
Yes.
Who was the guy that ran that? He was such, oh, he passed away. Oh my God.
Dance
Yeah.
Olympus?
Yeah, Dance Olympus. Who was the guy that started Dance Olympus with them? Anyway, doesn't matter really at this particular, but he was fantastic.
But it was Art Stone and somebody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody else
I can't think of it.
yeah.
Okay, so
Mm.
all these competitions are out there, these conventions.
Yeah.
But every one that we've mentioned is a dance convention.
Right.
There's classes all day,
Yeah.
and the competition is like a section of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
a couple nights, but that's it.
It's an
right?
afterthought
Or,
almost.
good way to
It's an
explain
afterthought,
it. It's an
wasn't it?
afterthought. It's
The
about,
workshop was the main focus.
yes, and the competition was
Eh,
cheap
yeah,
and
yeah,
later. Yeah. Okay, so now you're kind of the only one doing just a competition.
Yeah, but
Who's out there?
there's several others.
Showstoppers.
There's Showstoppers is out
Debbie
there.
Roberts.
Yeah, it's Debbie.
Now she didn't
Deb-
hate me back then.
All right, why does
Okay.
she hate you now?
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Something happened. I
So,
don't know.
all right,
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was-
Well,
was-
they run a really beautiful site too. I mean, they really have done a great job over the years, and they were a front runner in the dance competition industry. And then you had David Westerfield, who I just loved, who was Showbiz.
Yeah, okay.
And
So
you had-
Showbiz was, so all these are around.
Yeah, they're around.
Okay, here's the deal.
We
They-
were first
They don't
after.
come to
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
They didn't come. Or
No, those things
We
did not
did.
come to Pittsburgh.
We did though,
Yeah, you did.
and you didn't
But-
support me, by the way.
Like, what are you talking about? Because
I-
I was at DMA.
Oh, okay, all right. She wasn't
You weren't-
coming. To Pittsburgh is a
we-
big show for us. I mean, we loved it.
And Pittsburgh, I was very involved with DMA. I was all about the classes
okay.
because I think I was just the kind of teacher. My students, my former students, do not get upset. What I could tell you who was going to win before we left the studio.
Was that because it's so political over there?
No, in my kids.
Oh, your
Like,
kids.
Who
Yeah.
was going to win? Like, why are we all going to go?
Of course.
And Mark Myers is going to win this.
Yeah, right.
And he's going to get all this scholarship and free stuff, and you kids are just going to spend money. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least we go to class, you leave with the education.
Yeah,
I don't know.
education. I
Yeah.
get it.
And I like the interview skills for them and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
well, we
that
do
had
that
to do.
at the World Dance Pageant too.
Now you do. So
Yeah.
at the World Dance Pageant, it's run very much like that.
Yeah.
It's very, I'm going to say old school, but so important.
It really is the interview. I mean, the kids love the interview more than they like doing all the other stuff. I mean, they have classes, the interview, they model,
I know.
and then they perform. And then it's a big event. Derek and Julianne judged it last year.
I know.
Tough, yeah. So
I
anyway,
know.
it was a big show last year.
Well, they have a new convention.
Absolutely. I am stoked about that, to talk about that.
Yes.
Whenever we get to
We're
that.
going to get to that. Okay.
Right.
So you start out Starpower. It's named Starpower.
Yeah.
Right. And whose idea was that?
Starpower, the name.
Yours.
I think and Grace
Because
loved it.
You already had your star. What's your group called?
Superstars.
Superstars.
Yeah, we
You're
couldn't use
into
that.
star name.
And yeah, and we're into Star Maker was my parents and my competition. It's called
Star Maker.
Star Maker.
Okay. And what did your dad do for a living?
He was a glazier. He put glass in buildings. That's what he did.
Glass in buildings,
Yeah,
not
like-
windows.
like- yeah, big windows in office buildings. That's what he
Okay.
did.
So he was
He-
he
and he
at
worked
the
on
desk selling it, or was he actually putting it in?
He was actually putting it in.
Blue collar
Yeah,
labor.
Blue collar
Okay.
labor.
Okay.
Then he opened his own glass shop where he did automobile. It was, I forgot what the name of it was, but it's a long time ago.
Okay.
And he, yeah, he's a blue collar guy. He was
Okay.
working on cars.
And he married this beautiful woman who
Yes, he
was,
did. He was very lucky to.
but it's hard to be married to a dance teacher. It's a different-
Maybe, I don't know. They seem to do pretty good.
Yeah.
They married 55, 56
They,
years. or something.
she didn't come home whining about this
No,
person or that person.
no.
Dad didn't have to go up and like beat somebody up at the studio.
No, it
because-
wasn't like that then.
Because there was no competition.
Yeah, there was no competition. You're right. It was
Okay.
state fairs dancing in the dirt. And
There you go, and everybody was happy. They were thrilled. Look at my kid up there. Yeah, this kid's running around with cotton candy and
Absolutely,
taffy, and
yeah.
the kid's up there.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
or a
So
parade or something. That's what
yeah,
we did.
yeah,
parade.
the parades. Oh yeah.
Yeah, any
Okay.
chance.
So now you have Starpower.
Yes.
and you're in 11 cities and nationals. You have top-notch judges, this big names judging for you. So everybody wants to go. And at Atlantic City, the boardwalk, the
Well,
beach,
Yes. And one other thing that we did to get our
name out there.
get
Yeah,
our name out there, Star Search, which is coming back, by the way. Have you heard that?
I heard about it
Yeah.
and I
We're doing auditions at the
I
Dance One.
pitched that idea.
It
know
should have been
who's
brought
doing
back Netflix,
Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah.
But you know who the person is?
No. You gonna tell us?
No, I pitched it. I pitched this.
Who's
to
doing
Bring
it?
Star Search back.
Who's doing
I
it?
pitched it
Oh.
3 years ago. I pitched it 2 years ago. I pitched
So,
it another year ago.
Are you going to be involved
I don't
in it at
know.
all?
No, I don't know. I don't know who it is. I thought it was
Oh.
somebody from Australia that sold it.
Well,
but it's
it-
American.
It's not only
American
going to
thing.
be dance, it's going to be singing,
Sing,
acting,
right.
and
Right,
I mean,
right.
So, we were on the show with my kids back in the day with Ed McMahon,
Yes.
and I pitched the idea of them coming to host auditions at my studio. And
So all the East Coast, Maryland, everybody would come to your
some of
studio.
those Larkins came down from Minnesota with
Oh, wow.
Wild Boys. They were on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, you know,
My friend was Donna Farinella.
oh my gosh.
And she
yes,
had
yeah,
America's
yeah,
Apple Pie
yeah.
that won the whole
Right,
thing.
run the whole thing.
And she, yeah.
Yeah, we
So,
had some good times with the show.
Yeah.
I think it's really great they're bringing it back. So good pitch on your part.
well,
Uh,
yeah, but I didn't get it. And I'm trying to figure out who did because
well, I mean, it launched so many. Martin Lawrence was in the green room with my dancers, and my dancer
was he a little comedian kid?
at the time. No, he wasn't little at that time. He was a young guy.
Okay,
He was
okay.
But he went on to be huge.
Yes.
But he's sitting there. It's a true story. And he didn't like the shirt that he had on. He's in the green room. He's getting
Okay.
ready to go on. And Val, my dancer in my act, had on this flowered shirt just sitting there. And Martin says, "Can I wear that?" So we literally gave the shirt off our back to Martin Lawrence, who then became ultra famous. And we went back to Maryland because we lost that show. But anyway,
Did he
we-
get the shirt back?
yeah, he gave him the shirt back. We still talk about that. So
Oh.
I never brought that up to Martin Lawrence. I probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the shirt off.
I kid for that
You
shirt.
owe me. So. and-
All right. So now you did Star Search. You did everything. This big group that you had.
Right.
But now you have a competition. So can your own kids go to your competition or did you?
No, there were certain times that I would take my kids to showcase. They couldn't compete.
Starpower. So you're in 11 cities. Your nationals is in Atlantic City, which is a great place. I mean,
At that
especially
time.
back in the day with the
88,
boardwalk and the
It was in the
everything.
80s. Our national championships were so crowded, we could not let everybody in to watch. It was crazy. So we set up a big screen in another room because people were like going to kill
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Came all that way, spend all
Yeah,
that
right,
money and
right,
they
right.
can't see their kids.
So we figured it out. We survived.
Yeah.
We survived.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
But it
I'm
was
sure you
it
did.
was-
Especially those mothers that are in and out, in and out, in and out. Go watch it on the
Yeah,
screen.
right, right.
Yeah.
right.
All right. Sometimes the screen is better than live. I know I've been live at the Emmys, I've been at the Tonys and everything. And sometimes you don't have a great seat. Somebody in front of you has a big head. And then you could go home and watch it on TV.
Yeah,
Like
right,
it's better.
right.
I'm like, Dad, you want to go to the Kentucky Derby when he was dying? Because he was a horseman, a racetrack
wow.
man. I said, Dad, I'll take you to the Kentucky Derby. Let's do that. Let's do that.
No, I'd rather watch it on TV.
TV.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
See it
absolutely.
before, I guess years before.
Oh,
He
it'd be
was
cool
like,
to go there and wear a hat, though.
Yeah.
You would.
I wanted
You
to-
would have been great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's growing.
Yeah, it's growing, and then we
happy.
kept. Now Starpower, for example, is the largest dance competition in the world. We're in 100 cities worldwide. 100 cities.
100 cities. worldwide.
That's just one of our products. It's
Right.
fans.
But you went from 11 cities to 100 in the course of how many years?
39 years. It's taken us 39 years to get there.
39 years.
Yeah.
And
But we can't get any bigger. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
okay.
So that's why we created
So-
other brands.
So now you have all these other brands, which Jill talked about, but I want you to, are they all the same? Are they slightly different?
There,
Are the rules different?
no, the one thing that teachers wanted to be able to do, which I found out, the reason why Star Power was so successful is because both Grace and Grace was a wonderful partner. She did all the things that I didn't want to do,
which was,
she did like booking all the locations,
The
you have to go,
venues.
the venues. She
Okay.
loved dealing with the salespeople.
Yeah, I think that's-
She was absolutely amazing at that. She was also great because she was a studio owner as well. We both were studio owners. We both had children that danced. We both danced professionally. We both judged, professionally as well. So we sat in every seat. That's why we were so successful. I think some of the competitions that have opened up are run by, people that don't know dance, to be perfectly frank. They don't know dance.
oh, there's a lot of competition owners that are businessmen that don't know what the hell they're doing.
I
They're like,
totally.
why do you own a dance competition? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Why
weird.
it's
And
it's-
you being a dancer, your mother owning a dance studio, you and your mom and dad having a competition was once a year thing.
right.
It makes sense that you own a dance competition.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
All those stars aligned for me to do that. And number one, I love the kids. I
Right?
always have, and I
Gary
love
has two daughters,
two daughters who
Noelle and Jada, and they both dance. And
and Jada is still professionally dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited for her. Did Royal Caribbean. She's seen sites around the world dancing for Royal Caribbean than I haven't seen at my age. I mean, she's been to Singapore, Vietnam,
wow.
stints. I mean, all the Bahamas.
I know, I tell my kids,
it's a-
especially if you get out of high school and you don't want to move, you move to New York or LA, you need an apartment, you
Yeah.
need a car, or you need furniture, you need this, you need that. You go on a cruise ship, make some money, put it in your pocket, see the world.
Jada saved so much for that almost 2 years that she did it
Mhm.
because all her room and board's paid for. All,
Everything, your
yeah,
tips,
you
your makeup,
can't
your
spend.
everything.
Yeah, it's all taken care of for you.
Yeah.
And and as a parent, you know where she is at all times, right? You're not
that's-
running around New York, not running
That's
around LA.
wonderful to say.
And
Yes.
let me also say that on the ships now, the theaters are so beautiful. Abby, I mean, they're gorgeous. They're doing Broadway shows on all the Royal Caribbean shows. I mean,
I had a dance competition and a convention on a cruise ship many years ago, before Mr. Gary Pate did it.
Yeah.
It was called Dance Aquarius.
that's a
and,
great name. Can I steal that?
Yeah, of course. And we did it. And that's back in the day when you had to put like the full page ads
Yeah.
in Dance Teacher Now. You had to do all that.
Oh, yeah.
All the
yeah.
magazines,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
fortune, and somebody spells something wrong. It's
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
all
my
that.
God.
And
Yeah.
then and then we did it. We were successful. I bought a condo in Fort Lauderdale on the water.
Wow.
Everything was great. And then the Gulf War happened.
Oh.
And nobody was getting on a
Yeah.
cruise ship anywhere. It was
Well, you had the Gulf War. I had the
Pandemic.
COVID, the pandemic that shut us down.
Yeah.
I canceled over 700 shows. I didn't take a paycheck for 2 years. I dropped from 120 employees down to 30. Hired them all back though. Hired them all
Wow.
back. Hired them all back.
yay.
I
I had to
and-
pay everyone out of my pocket because once you have a staycation
Yeah.
and you're in that situation, you get nothing from the government, nothing. So
Wow.
all these small businesses
Yeah.
were getting help and
Yeah.
stuff and this and that. Not me, but I felt bad.
Well,
Jonah
yeah,
being one, like
yeah.
I felt bad, so we try to keep them working. and
Sure,
keep them getting paid.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to say this, that the one thing that we did do that some competitions didn't do, we gave everybody's money back in March of that.
Good to know.
We
So
gave-
2020, it was March.
Yeah, 2020.
I know, because my contract was up and
Right, right.
March 13th.
We
that
gave-
happened.
I mean, when we canceled one show, I thought it was the end of the world. I'm going, how are we going to, we canceled one show. I thought we'd be able to start back up again.
Were you one of those people that thought it was gonna be like a month?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
me
thought
too.
it was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
month. I thought we were going, oh, okay, this is going to pass.
Yeah.
Didn't pass,
Yep.
obviously.
No, that was me too.
Yeah.
I'm in a hotel.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
staying in a hotel, stuck in a hotel in LA,
Oh my
going-
God.
going, I have to get to Florida. I have to get to
Yeah,
Florida for
yeah,
my taxes. I
yeah,
have to get to Florida.
yeah,
I'm like, they go,
yeah.
don't fly. Then this one's flying, that one's flying. And everyone's like, don't fly. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Well, we gave everybody's money back. So when we did come back, thank you, studios all across America, for coming back so strong because they trusted me. They trusted our organization now because some people, like, the competitions kept their money. Parents, I mean, so dance studios are like going, the parents are asking me where the money is.
Yes,
Anyway, so
I know. I heard that through the
Yeah.
grapevine. I
Yeah.
heard that some dance competitions did not return the money to people, and you
Yeah.
can't, your business isn't going to thrive that way. Star Power How many do you have at this
oh,
point?
Oh, well,
Everything. Yeah.
all of them were canceled.
Oh, God.
But then coming back was just so enlightening because the studios just came back in droves for us. So it was, I get a little choked up about it because I really appreciate the fact that they came back like they did. I mean,
Yeah.
they really did. But we did the honorable
Well, I
thing.
think also parents in the world were wanted their kids out of the house again.
Oh, I know.
Living with them, doing the homework, the classes online. I think a lot of people realized their kids were not as swift as they thought they were
Yeah.
with school and education. And then other people thought, wait a minute, they're hearing it and they're like, why is my kid learning this when they're so far past this?
Right.
I think it worked both ways. But I know that people didn't want to do Zoom because I still teach on Zoom.
Oh, we
People
did
didn't want to
everything.
do it. They want to go back. They want to be on stage. They want to be in the costumes and the dressing room with the other girls. They want to do it.
Yep, yep.
Yes.
And they want to be in class too. There's
Yeah.
a big difference between learning from, this.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes. So, so it was a horrific experience for us.
Mhm.
But there was a point where I said, we're just not going to come back. I don't need to. I didn't need to, you know what I mean? So,
Financially,
I didn't need to.
no,
I didn't
you
need-
could have retired.
I could have
at-
retired.
at that moment.
Yeah.
And is Grace still a partner at this point?
No.
She has been bought
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
before
Well,
that.
yeah. Grace was getting to the point where it was difficult for her to travel, difficult to manage everything. I
Mhm.
mean, she's right now 99 and going to,
Grace is 99. That's
she's
right.
99 and she'll be 100 in December.
Well, happy early birthday, Grace.
Yeah, Grace. If she was watching this, it would be good.
Yes.
But
And she is in good health.
yes, I mean, she has
She's 9, so.
my wife Jill speaks to Grace every day. Every day goes down and visits
She
her.
was the one that got you two together.
Maybe that, I don't know. I never asked that
Oh.
question. Maybe she just loved Grace. When dancers back in the day, when dancers were without work, who are you going to call? It wasn't Ghostbusters.
No.
It was Grace Wakefield. You know what I mean? Because she would hire and she would give them a judge.
All right.
Yeah.
So now I know who I'm calling to judge.
Yeah,
It's Grace.
It's called Grace Wakefield.
Yes.
Yeah. She's down there, 99, going to be 100 in December.
Crazy.
That is crazy. But dance keeps you young.
It does. And when you're around kids all the time, it keeps you young. My dad was
Yeah.
young and he knew all the latest toys and games. And
Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
he heard the kids talking
I
about it.
can't imagine what it was like to grow up with you in that house.
Well, oh my God. He told me I was dumb enough to be a twin. every day.
Okay.
Like I send you down to the garage for a nail or for a hammer and you come up with a handful of nails. What's wrong with you? Like, just.
Because they
and
wanted you to be
he
the
raised
good
6
boy.
kids for the price of you. Because my dad grew up during the Depression
Yeah.
and he was one of 6
Yeah.
and
Oh,
yada,
Bill.
yada, yeah. My dad was.
And you were an only child.
Yes.
Okay.
And my mother was an only child too. And my mother lied. She just said, we did it once at work. We're done." Yeah. So
Well,
yeah, blonde hair, blue eyed boy. But I, was theatrical and I wanted to do everything, but I was daddy's girl.
okay. Yeah.
My dad took me. My mother didn't want me at the studio because when she first moved back to Pittsburgh and opened. Now, remember, she's driving a Cadillac convertible. She's getting her hair done every week. Her kids are dancing with Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley at the Fontainebleau in Miami, doing all the movies on Miami Beach, like TV commercials like Dentine and
Mhm.
Wrigley's gum, everything. And her life was pretty good. Her mom passed away. Her mother was her whole life, did her book work, did the costumes, did everything. And so my dad came down and said, let's get married. They were 36.
When they got married?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And first time. And then they had me at 38. And then my mom opened again in Pittsburgh. Well, he brought her back to Pittsburgh to his parents' house because he got the house because he was 36 and not married. He's still living there.
Yeah.
And all the brothers and sisters were mad. So anyway, he thought she was going to sit on the front porch with rollers in her hair and a babushka and gossip with the neighbors. And she said, Salty, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
going back
Yeah.
to Miami. This
Yeah.
is not what I signed up for.
Right.
But she didn't want him to leave his job because he ended up with 43 years in.
Oh, wow.
at,
Doing what?
he worked for the railroad.
Okay.
And you know how in Monopoly you want to buy the railroad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good thing.
Mhm.
So anyway, he, worked his way up and up and up. He worked at 16 before he graduated from high school. And then he went back after the war, after World War II. And,
Yeah.
so anyway, she opened a studio
In Pittsburgh.
in Pittsburgh again. She's like, I'm not
Yeah.
sitting at the house. So she opens a studio and gets a bunch of kids like in droves from the studio in the next town. And she's like, what is going on there? There's something wrong. Well, finds out that the teacher had 2 daughters, and the daughters were in the front of every number, in the middle of every number.
Suicide.
And da 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 da. And so she thought right there, uh-oh,
Yeah.
I have this little girl at home. I'm not even bringing her.
Oh,
So my dad took me once a week to the 3-year-old.
I just put my girls in the back line. I had no problems.
See,
I'm kidding. I'm
but you
kidding.
did that.
Yeah.
Noelle, you never finished her dance.
Yeah, I never
Because she
finished.
got other kids that were
Yeah,
paying
exactly,
customers, right?
exactly.
She had to come. So that's what my mom did with me. I was secondary. You know, it wasn't until I was 13 that we got this flyer in the mail, and it said Summer Dance Festival Competition. Do you remember that? It was out of Buffalo, New York, Canada. I should have asked you.
Well, she
It
probably
was a
knows.
guy named,
Probably knows.
it was Eileen Gray Snowden. Her relatives were involved in it. They were like the Canadian Buffalo area.
Okay.
And they
A
had
lot
this,
of great dancers from.
oh yeah,
state
and they had this dance competition.
Yeah.
And they came to Pittsburgh and we went. And I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. My mother's like, you want to do a solo? I was like, oh, no, I want to choreograph a dance. So I choreographed my 3 girlfriends that were my age, 13. And I put them in it in this
That was the
trio,
start of the magic.
and they won. And it
Wow.
was like right then I knew what I was put on this earth to do. Because I did brownies and Girl
Yeah.
Scouts, ice skating, roller skating. I played junior golf at the club.
Yeah.
I was on the swim team. I did it all, Gary. That was like a well-rounded.
I'm still
kid.
hearing that your girl beat Jill for the Miss
Yeah.
Dance or one that she still talks about that
I
to
know.
this day.
See, it still gets to
Yeah, it still gets to
I
her.
know.
Yeah. Was
Can be.
yeah, that's quite a compliment because Jill was pretty awesome back in the day. She ended up winning some year. I don't know.
Well, so
Yeah.
anyway, so that was the deal with my mom. So much like you, your mom sent
Yeah.
you somewhere else to study with the guy.
Yeah.
And my mom, she never sent me anywhere else, but I came to it. And then that fall in September, I was 14 and I asked my mom to start a competition team at her studio.
Wow.
And she said, one thing, everybody that comes to try out makes it. I'm not losing business over this.
Okay.
And she was a better
Smart,
businesswoman
very
than
smart.
I ever gave her credit for.
Yeah.
So I just put it out there that you had to do a right split, left split, straddle split, or don't come. And so they
So-
were all really flexible. They just walked in and was like, boom, boom,
Now,
boom. But
What's
they were
inter-
her students.
What's interesting to me about Dance Mom, if we could segue to that,
Yeah.
is that, I knew you before Dance Moms.
Absolutely.
And you were so skilled and put out so many professional dancers and
Well,
so many great
Is that
kids.
the reputation I had?
You had that
Okay,
reputation.
good,
You
good,
did. You had that
good,
reputation,
good.
and everybody feared your dancers, in the competition world. I mean, I'm not. That's no bull. That's
I
the
remember
truth.
at some other competitions.
Yeah.
It wasn't Starpower, but some other things, because we didn't go to that much. They people would scratch their numbers. If
Yeah,
they
if
were
they knew
against
they
like
were-
Martin
yeah,
Myers, they
I
just
mean,
scratched.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you.
"How'd you do that?"
Yeah, you had a reputation, and then
Okay.
I
I didn't have a reputation crazy that I was yelling about.
no, and then Dance Moms come along, and of course, everything changed. But you still produced amazing dancers.
Keep the fire burning.
Yeah.
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 If everybody was sweet and nice and I didn't yell at anyone.
Nobody
it
would
wouldn't-
watch it. Nobody would
It
go
would have
watch it.
lasted 1 year.
Yeah,
One season.
totally understand, totally get it.
So now,
You were always very polite to us.
well, we're going to talk about one episode. Okay.
Oh, where is
So-
that? Are we talking
I-
Lancaster?
I don't know where it was. Okay. So in California, Lancaster?
No, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
No, this was in California.
Okay.
So,
was I there?
oh, you were there.
Okay.
So let's start. How
Is that
do-
more recent? That event?
how do you get in contact with Dance Moms? How did that happen? Because I just gave a list of names to the producers, to the production team,
Brian and the guys. Those guys.
but they probably never gave credit that Abby told us to contact
Oh
you.
no.
Yeah,
No.
no.
Nobody ever said
They
that.
had never, that man you just mentioned, I call him Satan. He had never been to a dance competition in his life before us. Like they
He
knew
loves you.
nothing
At
about,
least that's what he tells me.
yeah, Satan. They knew nothing about a dance competition.
He says he loves her.
They don't know how it's run. They don't know that you can't just stop the show and put another act on. They don't understand that you can't end at a certain time.
Oh, right. Yeah. They
They-
don't get any of that.
They don't get it.
Well, the only way that we would permit them to come to an event is if they played by our rules. because there was no shenanigans going on at all. I can put my head down on my pillow every night and say, that's the way they called it. I have lived and died by those judges.
Right.
You know, there's been times where I'm going, oh my God, I'm a dancer. I know this is not gonna, I'm gonna be attacked when I get off stage, you know?
Right.
And there are other times when it worked out the way I thought it would work out.
Right. Right.
and
But
you know-
sometimes they see something different
Look,
than we
you
do.
didn't like the music. I don't like Janet Jackson, or I don't like this.
I don't like the
that
color
concept.
red.
I don't.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's such an opinion.
And also what I try to tell people too, is when you're sitting there judging, right? If you see contemporary, let's say slow, boring, contemporary, and then a musical theater number comes out, you're like, thank God, thank God. And you can score that kid really high, which if she was against 20 other musical theaters, she might have not scored that high.
Right.
And it depends what time of the day. Did we just eat lunch? Are we hungry? Or whatever happened.
So maybe you had a bad day yesterday at home and you flew in and your flight was, I mean, you just don't.
There's so many
There's
variables.
so many variables.
That's why I say go for the performance aspect.
Right.
You're
An
on a beautiful
opportunity,
stage.
which I
Yes.
didn't have, which is why I didn't have it. I didn't have a stage to go compete at. I had to compete at my talent show in my high school against my girlfriend. You know what I mean? That was not
Did
easy.
you beat her too?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And she was
I'm still very
well, no, she was a national majorette champion. She was
12.
tons everywhere, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I came out and did a comedy pantomime routine and won.
Wow.
So, but
You're
I
a
would,
Gary.
if I had,
Talk about these boys winning a competition too.
I know, I know.
It's your competition. Are the guys and girls separated?
At the high school?
No, at
At the World
Starpower,
Dance
but-
Pageant, yeah, they are. At the World Dance
But
Pageant.
not normally.
Not normally.
Okay, so you can have he, she, and they, them,
Yes.
all in one thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
But the pageant and the titles are all different. That's different.
Okay.
Right.
all right. Yeah. we're
That's,
not-
it's men and women.
Okay, now it's growing, it's getting bigger. You've hired staff. What does it take to get hired for anybody that's out there watching and you think, hey, I want to work for a dance competition someday. I want to own a dance competition someday. How does that process work?
They come to us 90% of the time. People that want to work in the industry,
Okay,
especially kids that graduate and they're trying to, you know,
right?
stay busy
Yeah.
while they're going to school or whatever.
Okay,
'Cause it is a great job. You can travel and see a lot. And plus you're around dance and all these people just love to be around dance.
so I'm applying.
Pardon me?
I'm applying.
There you go.
It's
There you go.
come to you. I'm coming to you.
All right.
Yes.
No, I
If
mean,
anyone in the world should own a dance competition, should it not be me?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
Okay, now, not some mother from Dance Moms that doesn't know what she's doing and never
Mm.
took a dance lesson in her
No,
life.
please.
All right, so it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. Grace has retired and you own the business solely
Right.
now. It's
Well, it wasn't the
20
Star Dance Alliance when Grace was around.
It wasn't.
It evolved to that after,
Okay.
after when she
So now-
decided to retire.
All these different entities
Mhm.
are under one umbrella called Star Dance Alliance.
Right.
Now, am I right? If you win one of these, you can go to this one's national?
Yes.
Okay, so for dance teachers, the convenience of it is wonderful. Maybe your kids won at Next Star, but you want to go to the nationals that are in Orlando on these dates, which is Starpower.
Right.
So you can transfer it around, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and absolutely. The other great thing of staying within the Star Dance Alliance is that if you're a dance teacher, you don't want to choreograph numbers depending on the rules. Like if time limits are different or size of groups are different. You don't want that. So the consistency there with basic rules exists amongst all the brands. And that makes it easier for you.
Right.
And by the way, if you want to go to Starpower and then you want to go to Next Star, you push a button and all of it transfers over. That easy. You don't have to redo all the names, redo all the ages, redo all that stuff. It's all transferable. So
Wow.
our goal is to make it so easy that you don't want to leave the SDA.
I see.
Yeah, that's the game.
So just with the push of a button, you can be registered for another competition.
Exactly.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Okay, so now you have Wild, which is a dance convention.
Yeah, it's a one-day event,
One-day event. And how many cities is that? in?
13 cities.
Wow, 13 cities.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have the World Dance Pageant,
Right.
which is in Meadowlands, New Jersey.
Right?
And I've had kids do it in the past.
You even
I
judged it way in the beginning,
way in the beginning, I
Yeah,
judged it. Yeah. Now,
and you were late, by the way, on the first time you judged.
oh, I was. Is that
Yeah.
why I didn't get hired back?
No, that's not why.
Is that why I didn't
No,
get hired?
so you made a grand entrance, something to do with the plane, and I remember we were all sitting around waiting for you to
No,
come.
I don't even remember
And then
that. Okay.
Rodney had so many people mobbing you. Rodney had to like bodyguard you and everything at that time. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's go back because you're
The
all
first
wondering
one.
if we're going to get and ever talk about dance moms. We are. Okay. Now,
Let's talk about Dance Moms.
okay. I don't know what episode. I don't know where we were, and I don't have my phone, so I can't call Michael. I got kicked out. You threw me out of the
I
competition.
did not. She's making this up.
No,
That was
you
probably.
did. And we were in California somewhere.
Oh no,
you had
no,
to-
no, no, no.
And I
That
walked.
was
Walked
that
to the
was-
police station. I walked to the police
you were
station.
being a little crazy at that particular time. So anyway, so okay, it was something. It was something that they thought you were going to come in and disrupt, not me, the producers. It wasn't us. It wasn't me kicking you out.
See,
They were.
they
no.
told me, Gary.
No.
You had to
Oh
make-
my God. I would never in a million years do that to you. You're my friend. You know, no. They were afraid you were going to come in and disrupt what was being shot at that particular time. You're not the one doing this competition. I mean, you weren't controlling that at that time.
I didn't control any of it.
Oh,
You knew that.
yeah, I knew that.
I mean,
yeah.
at first you probably didn't. When you first
No,
got
I didn't.
involved, this is like, Abby, we're going to work with Abby.
Yeah,
Da, da, da. Abby has good kids. This will be fine.
we knew nothing.
And then you didn't know that I'm just getting a paycheck and I'm just sitting here doing.
I
Right.
did not know. I did
Yeah.
not know. We knew nothing. We just talked to the producers, and we were only providing a
Venue.
venue, a
Right.
venue in the jungle.
Well, they told you what city.
Yes,
And then,
they would say, "Can you supply us with a competition in the
right,
city
but
that we want to
it's
go?"
over. So, well,
Yeah.
it's not over, but it's over for me. So I
Yeah,
can talk about it.
Right.
So they gave you a set amount of money
Yes,
to spend on
on the venue, on whatever
judges,
judges,
whatever. And
and it
wasn't-
never covered it all. Never covered it all.
Never covered.
Never.
Never. Because they're cheap.
I can
They're
attest
so
to that.
cheap. Yes. Okay. They're so cheap.
They-
So now but other people come to this, some, it's not big because, and they
You can't
tell
make it
you
big.
that you only want, I gotta make sure that's recorded.
Like,
They tell you that they want 10 to 12-year-old solos
right.
and they want 13 to 15-year-old group or whatever, or
Right.
vice versa. And that's the only kids that can come. So now your team, the people that work for you, have to contact your mailing list of all your dance studios in that area and tell them, hey, do you want to film for Dance Moms? This is what we're looking for.
Exactly. That's how it
And
happened.
they paid to come,
Yes, they paid.
which baffles me. Why couldn't that network cover the costs so that other kids could come free? Like pay you enough
I have
money
no
to
idea.
say, you know what, get 20 groups there, we're going to cover their costs. Okay, so my big issue was, why can't my other kids come?
What other kids?
My kids in my studio.
Oh,
I mean, we're giving 7 kids the world on a platter. Why can't my other kids come to
compete.
Believe and do
Well,
like
that-
in New Jersey or
I
whatever?
never asked.
Why
that.
can't my
That
other
never-
kids come?
That
Oh.
never, that never came up
Oh,
to me.
it came up with me all the time with
Oh,
them
okay.
fighting. Like it's only a
Are
4-hour
you talking
drive.
about the studio in
very late.
California or the studio in Pittsburgh at the time?
Both, but
Okay.
mainly Pittsburgh.
Okay.
The kids I trained since they were 2.5 years old, why can't they come free of charge
Mhm.
and do their numbers? Well, you know
I
why?
was never asked. Why?
Because they were going to beat the kids that were on the show.
Wow.
And that's what they didn't want.
Hmm.
Because
Look, they got
I
beat
have
up.
other
They
kids
got
in my
beat too.
studio.
Your studio, I mean,
got beat.
yeah, you got beat once in a while. I mean,
They didn't want, like, it was weird to shoot it and have one of my kids
oh yeah,
from my studio
yeah.
beating one of
that makes sense.
the kids, because now our story, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
and they all wanted the whole world to think I had 7 kids in my studio. People don't understand that there were, at the time, a lot more kids.
I thought
and-
you only had 7 kids.
No, no. One of the kids that auditioned for the show that didn't get it is on Broadway now.
Wow.
Yeah, but his mom was.
You have a lot of
Wait,
kids on
now you-
Broadway at the time.
But But he would have been so good on the TV show. We would have won
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Okay, we would have never gotten beat. Okay,
Interesting.
Amazing Tapper and Tumbles.
Well, he
and
didn't make
Gary-
the show, so to speak, right?
Yeah, he didn't make the show. His mother didn't make the show.
I got it.
You know?
It's all about moms.
Yeah, but if he would have
It's called
showed up
Dance Moms.
against,
Abby, remember, it's called Dance Mom.
it is. It is because it was to be a housewife show
Mm.
centered around a dance studio. The kids were 10%, the studio was 10%, and the moms were 80%.
How
But I
many,
tried
how
to
many
change
countries is the show in now?
135 countries.
That's
Well,
amazing.
now it's different. That was 135,000 or 135 countries when my contract was up. Let me say that again. The show was airing in 135 countries before my contract was up. That 8-year contract, that 4-year with a 4-year option that I signed under duress.
Okay.
When someone stuck a pen in my hand and said, "You have to sign this," I kept saying, "No, no, I don't have an entertainment attorney. No, no," and they said, "You have to," and I signed it. I thought it was
Well, that was, you were
I
at
thought
a
it was an
different point.
appearance
Yeah,
release,
Yeah.
and it was a 4-year contract. Okay, so moving on. So now 135 countries and 11 languages.
Wow.
Today in 2025, Hulu bought the show from A&E, and then Disney Plus bought Hulu.
Oh, wow.
And now, Gary, I'm a Disney princess.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Can't even get a pass to get into the Magic Kingdom for one day. Thank you. We get nothing, no residuals.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That
that
in
is.
itself is,
That's
is a-
crazy.
is a real shame.
Yes,
That's
that we're still working.
Listen, when you came over to move it with us.
Yes, in London.
Mobbed. She was mobbed. I mean, there's a guy that dances with Jada in the show,
Yes,
and he knows every word is spoken on just about all the shows. I mean, he can verbatim recite the
so
show.
the lines from the.
Yeah, the lines from
I know.
Dance Moms.
There's a lot of people that can do that.
I didn't know that. I mean, it's
a
like I'm
cult
going.
thing. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy.
I don't get it. It's crazy. And people always ask me about television, what I watch and my go-to, and I watch scripted TV.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you
Reality
watch
t-
TV?
Yeah, I watched.
Do you like
watched-
Lincoln Lawyer? Have you watched that?
No,
Oh,
I was
it's
watching Landman and things like.
Oh, I like Landman.
Oh, Landman. Billy
Oh.
Bob was amazing. Amazing.
Did they get another season? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Well,
I love
and I also loved 1923.
Okay, I didn't watch that.
You got to watch that, Harrison Ford and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
so-
watch Lincoln Lawyer.
Okay.
And do you watch oh, it's on primetime. It'll come to me.
Yeah, there's a bunch of new ones out right
Yeah,
now.
but I like real TV. I
The-
call it real TV. I want to see people that train their whole lives to be actors. That's who I want to see, not people in their house. All right. Now, although your home is beautiful,
Oh, thank you.
absolutely stunning. This could be Housewives of Orlando.
Let's
You
do
know,
it. Let's
Jill-
do it.
Jill would be
How
great.
about Guys of Orlando? Can
The-
we do it? How about House Men?
Oh.
You know, how
Oh,
about that
Yeah.
take on that?
there was a pool boy who kept walking back and forth earlier. He looked kind of like you.
Yeah, that was me. I'm a jack of all trades.
All right. So now, Dance Moms, they come to you and they say, "Hey, we want you to back
Yeah,
this or do this."
Well,
What do you say?
they
So did
need
you have to
different
talk-
banners. They need different banners.
Right.
They
You
don't.
want it to look like
Yeah.
we're it.
I never put
Sheer
Star
Valley
Power.
every day.
I never put Star Power on.
No, because you didn't want to ruin it.
No, no. It wouldn't have ruined it, but you know, we weren't taking it.
Site, it wouldn't have, but
No.
you weren't taking a chance.
I wouldn't take it.
So what Gary did is he created a new banner, a backdrop for a competition to start, but then it took off.
Well, I was already creating them.
Oh, good.
But
Okay.
I launched.
Get to take
Well,
credit.
you know, yeah, no, you can, because they were one of them was the first competition had already taken place, but
Okay.
it was their first season.
Okay.
So we put them on Dance Mom. So for millions of people to see the backdrop, you know,
And it grew.
basically in a group, and it's grown and grown and grown.
And that was
Next
the
up,
next star.
it was next.
Okay. And then
Believe,
Believe.
and then Dreaming.
And do you know off the top of your head? I don't want to put you on the spot. Believe, how many cities are you in?
I think it's a little over 50 now.
And what
Uh,
about Imagine?
Imagine is in 70 some now.
And they
Imagine,
started on Dance
but
Moms.
they have Imagine has a tremendous national director too, which has helped.
It's
Because
not me.
he's a teacher, goes into all the studios and
Who is that?
oh my God, just Sean Moe. Sean Moe, he's a tapper
Okay.
and from upstate New York,
Okay.
another upstate New York guy.
Probably Beverly
And
Fletcher.
yeah,
Somebody tell
yeah,
me.
he's amazing and
Okay.
he's been great. But all my national directors have stay with
And see, how did you get that job, Gary? People want to
You
know.
were busy running Dance Moms for so long, and
I wish I was running it.
you know,
Okay.
let me ask you, I think Dance Moms would be amazing if you actually came back.
If I actually
Could you?
ran it. Yeah.
Could you?
Well, I shot a show
Uh-huh.
called Season 9
Okay,
myself.
okay,
It's called Abby Lee Dance With Me.
okay.
And it's airing now on Patreon and YouTube Premium. No one yelled at me. Nobody made me cry. I didn't have to take my clothes off. It was all good. And the dancing is incredible.
What station or what
You can
network?
see it on Patreon
Okay,
or YouTube Premium.
okay.
And the dancing is incredible. So if you're out there, your kids or your moms, and you want to see some just brilliant dancing, check it out. If you want to see drunk mothers fighting, it's not for you. The moms are very little, just glimpses of them, and that's it. Because when I went to hire an editor, I either needed to hire like a dance editor that could do it, or I needed to hire a story editor. And a story editor was a couple $100,000, $300,000. So for 13 episodes, I was like, no, I can't do that. Can't do that. So, but Dance Moms production company, which was Collins Avenue Entertainment, they never hired one person that ever took a dance class in their lives to edit or even work on the show. So tapping, I have really good tappers at the studio. Maddie was an amazing
Yeah.
tapper, but we could never do tap on the show because they couldn't edit it. They just didn't know what the steps
Yeah,
were.
right.
Crazy. Plus, it takes longer to learn a tap dance than
Yeah,
a
it does.
hop, Sinead, garage, roll around
Yeah,
on the floor, get up.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was a little different. Okay. Now you're at a competition. I'm there. You keep talking about Lancaster. So tell me about that.
Oh,
'cause I don't
Lancaster
remember that.
was when I was really mad at you.
Okay.
All right, so Lancaster, there was an incident where you came back. I was standing in the store and you got up and came back. Your judges are terrible, blah, blah, blah. I said, stop.
I said that?
Yes, you did. Well, it was part
Who
of
was
your
judging? Oh, they were filming me doing this.
Yvette Waltz. Remember Yvette? Yvette was on that panel. Yeah, okay, you remember now?
That's
She's
Roadkill's mom. If anybody's watched, I know you all have, Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. I think it was season 2. Roadkill. Her mother was judging my kids. Now, come on.
And Yvette is an amazing studio, has an amazing studio. Yeah, I love her to do. Anyway, so you were complaining about the judging and you came back to me and I said, stop the show, get Brian on the phone, because we're not going to continue. Everybody needs to leave.
Okay.
Because you were complaining about my judges. I would not going to take that.
So,
I was
but,
mad at you.
but it was Yvette and they wanted me to go after her.
Yeah, exactly. I knew
The-
that you're.
the story is-
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
okay.
I knew that was part of the
But
story.
they don't, that's where they cross the line.
Yes,
They don't understand it's a business.
Right,
This is a business. You
This
can't
is
do this
this-
just like they did in my studio
right.
with my other students.
Yeah,
They, go in the dance room or the den where the kids change their clothes, pick everybody's bags up, throw them outside because we're filming in here. So a kid comes out and needs their $250 tap shoes and they're gone. Their bags are gone. How about go to the front door and you drive your kid, you pick them up at school, you feed them in the car, you get to the dance studio, they jump out of the car and the door won't open.
yeah.
But there's cars here.
I knew
And-
nothing about
and
this.
And
We're
because
just
we're
doing the
filming
show.
in the lobby.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
doing the show. And the only thing that I didn't like about doing a Dance Mom show is we couldn't show our personality on stage because they were limiting us with music. And that's part of our thing. So
Oh, your shtick
our
at the
shtick-
end
our shtick.
with the fun
Yeah,
and
the
get
fun,
everybody dancing.
frisbees,
And, yeah,
it's such fun. And we couldn't do that. So that was disappointing.
it's because the rights to the music.
Yeah, the right.
But why didn't they give you a list of stuff that you could use?
They did. Well, we
Okay.
asked for it, but there was nothing on there that would fit our, I mean, we had set patterns. Anyway, they said, no, we don't want any music over this, or we don't want this. So
Right.
it was very, very limiting, but again,
But they knew going to a Gary Pate sanctioned event.
They knew it would be
that-
well run, and
They couldn't
they could
mess
not
with
mess
the
with,
judges.
they couldn't mess with the judges. They couldn't
Tell
mess.
you who should win
Who
and who
should-
shouldn't
Oh,
win.
no, absolutely no. I was not buying into that. They could leave. I didn't
Right.
need it. I didn't need it.
Right,
You know what I mean?
financially, you didn't
I
need it.
didn't-
Well,
financial- no, we were doing it because we
my
liked
friend-
to.
yeah, Alex Erickson, I don't know, he was the sheer talent.
Oh,
announcer.
Sheer, yeah, you were like
Yeah.
really hooked on them for a while. They
Well,
did a lot of your
They
stuff.
did a lot.
Yeah.
But they didn't need it.
Right,
like-
right.
Vicky Sheer didn't need it.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
She got so much money from
yeah,
selling
yeah.
that she owned in New York. it
Wow.
didn't matter.
Wow, wow.
So they didn't need it. And he was the MC.
Mm.
He didn't own it. And he was like, no, this is who won. Or even the order of
They
the
would
dances.
ask him that. They never did that
Oh,
with me.
yeah.
They never did that with me.
Well, because they knew up front. No.
Not gonna happen.
But they
never,
did it.
well,
There
and
was-
I wasn't at all the shows.
Right,
Some
right,
of the
right.
people were.
And there was a couple they tried to do that with, and I never walked out of a competition in my life.
Wow.
In real life or on the show, never but once. Because they had Kathy beating us, but I could see this idiot in the sky, something screaming out onto the stage. No, that's not right. That's not who's supposed to win. We can see his mouth moving.
Whoa.
And this idiot guy is on the stage. He was an older guy. I don't know who he was. And he's mixing up the things. He's announcing overall high score duet trio, but a solo kid's winning it. The parents and the audience are all confused. It was a nightmare. I said, let's go. We're leaving.
Well, we didn't have any of this issues.
No.
That was the only one issue ever, is that you were, because they wanted you to.
This was in,
And they called Brian and he said, okay, stop.
yeah, because I would never do that in real
Right,
life.
right.
I would be like, well,
I-
you know what? We're not coming back here next year if I wasn't happy with
Right,
it.
right.
That's what you do. That's how you act. So if there's dance teachers watching or listening, your money's good everywhere. Don't complain. They don't want to hear it.
And you were always really gracious to my staff. They would come in and you do pictures with them and sign some autographs for them, because it was just it was exciting. Yeah.
I think it's interesting for the other kids that came to the events that filmed
Mhm.
to see how a TV show's filmed.
Yeah, I thought it was great. That's another reason for doing it.
Educational, right?
Yeah.
And the jib that swings around
Yeah.
back and forth. I mean, for kids to see that, maybe they want to go into television and film. Or the
Sure.
cameraman or this or that. You get to see it all
Oh,
taking
it was
place.
fun. It was fun. The majority of it was fun. There were some tense moments, but
Most
there
of
were
the
few.
tense moments take place in the dressing room
Yeah, yeah,
where we're isolated. We're not in a dressing room with other people.
right.
It's the dance moms.
People weren't seeing that. The
No,
audience wasn't
no,
seeing it. It wasn't,
no.
it-
And everybody waved and
Yeah,
hi
right,
and took
right.
pictures with kids.
Yeah.
Yes. Millions of kids go to bed hungry each night in the US. So when I found out about a nonprofit that feeds 5,000 underserved children each night named Katerina's Club, headed by Chef Bruno Serrato, I knew I had to help. After all, who knows kids better than me? He launched Katerina's Club when he found out about California's motel kids. These children are so poor that their entire families live in single-room motels with no kitchens, nowhere to cook, no dinner. So food was a rarity for many of these families. He has been feeding kids, 5,000 kids, every single night since 2005. He even mortgaged his home twice to keep the program going. When his restaurant, Anaheim White House, burned to the ground, he found another kitchen that same day to keep feeding kids without interruption. He has served well over 10 million meals. We are looking for any size donations. After all, a $5 donation feeds a family of 4. While food banks are helping ease the crisis, many of these children, often referred to as motel kids, live in cheap, crime-ridden units that do not contain kitchens. Since these families are unable to cook dinner, they depend on already prepared meals like those provided by Katerina's Club. To become involved and make a donation, go to katerinasclub.org/donate. Again, that's katerinasclub.org/donate. Okay, now it's 2025. You just turned 75 years old. Isn't
You have to
that
tell
fucking amazing?
everybody out there my age.
Yes, because you look so good. Look at that hair. You just bent forward. There's not a bald spot. You got it.
Okay.
Okay, now tell everybody about Dance One and how it happened. I sat next to your attorneys last year
Yeah.
and across from your accountants, so I kind of know the inside scoop. They
Okay,
probably had a
okay.
few drinks in them and they
Yeah,
were
it's
telling
true.
me
it's
everything.
true.
So tell me, tell the
Dan-
world. where
Dance
did
One
it
is
come to you.
is the most. It was the greatest opportunity to blend two different companies, blend them together.
So they already owned the first company,
Yes, they already owned the first company.
which we can. talk
Yeah, yeah,
about.
yeah,
It's
sure. it's
Break the Floor.
They already
And
owned that.
Break the Floor had Nuvo and Jump and whatever.
24/7 and
Radix.
Radix, okay, and Dancerpalooza and Dance Teacher Summit and Chaos, yeah, an amazing,
Convention,
competition.
right. But again, it's one of those where the convention is kind of the main thing. The competition takes place on Saturday night, but now
Oh, it's the
Friday,
competition's big.
Thursday,
Competition's
it's
big.
crazy. I don't think my kids would have ever been able to get out of school like on Thursday to go to
Yeah,
a dance.
it's well, we're doing that at SDA as well, yeah. Well, I mean, I just saw a great opportunity to blend the two together, the two powers together to create something very special for dancers worldwide. I really did. It's something I couldn't do by myself.
You couldn't buy Break the Floor and put it
No,
together
no,
yourself.
I couldn't take SDA to the level I can take SDA now
Okay.
with the power that we have.
So the company
Sheer
Dance
number
One,
power.
so Dance One owns Break the Floor and they have acquired.
Dance One is the new company that has blended SDA with
Star Dance Alliance.
with
All those competitions we've been talking about last week with Jill.
Break the Floor.
Last week with Jill, and this week we've named them. You know them from the TV show. When you're watching now on Disney Plus, you see all these competitions and these other ones that you've never seen. And we've never gone to them because it's all the classes during the day and the teachers wanted paid for their choreography.
Right.
And they wanted to use music that they wanted to use. So it never worked to go to a convention. It just won't work.
So
Although I pushed and pushed and pushed. for it.
well, right now their competition at Break the Floor, if you will, is massive. It's massive. Right now we're in California, in San Diego. Radix is having their nationals and blending with Chaos. Next year, Radix will have an event. It's going to be called The One, and that will be Ovation with Derek and Julianne Huff
Okay.
and Val and Jenna
Yes.
from Dance with the Stars, and also Chaos, and also Radix will have a combined championship.
Whoa.
It's going to be
Okay.
massive. It's going to
And
be.
does it work the same way with those? If you go to one of them, you like, it's all one national. So
Well,
it doesn't matter. You
yeah,
can go.
Yeah,
Right.
and they're
But you
working.
can't win Radix and then go to the Dance Awards.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You can't.
But those three.
But
you-
yes, those three will be
okay.
there. It's going to be called The One,
The one.
and that's Ovation, that's Chaos, and
I'm getting,
it's
this
nuts.
is new news.
This is new news.
No one has heard this. I didn't hear the one. Does
Right.
anyone else know?
Nobody knows.
Now you guys
You
know.
guys know.
There you go.
It's being announced
Oof.
at,
Okay.
at
But
Radix.
this is like sneak peek.
Yeah, this is yeah, it's being announced.
Like
Let's
seeing
see.
a Mission Impossible movie before it happens.
You're right.
All right. So now we have that, then we have the other one, which is the Dance Awards with all those
The
together.
dance awards are massive, it's the
Yeah.
dancer of the year and all that.
I've been there.
It's-
I judged for them here in Orlando,
Yeah.
actually.
It's
Okay.
massive.
It's crazy, crazy.
Everybody wants to win that.
Yes. And
It's in Vegas and in Orlando.
right. And then Star Dance Alliance.
Star Dance Alliance is in 28 national championships around the country. Starpower in Orlando this year will be as big as the Dance Awards in Orlando.
Are they
Yeah,
back to back?
They're back to back. We have Next Star, Starpower, and then TDA, the Dance Awards, at the Swan Dolphin here in Orlando, back to back.
Okay. So if kids are coming, they can come to Star Power Nationals and just keep staying in their hotel room for the
They
dance.
can stay. They can stay for And
There you go.
Or if they
Not
put the
so-
Next Star, they can stay and go to Starpower,
Okay.
vice versa.
All
A lot of
right.
people do that,
Yes.
actually.
Yes. A lot of people.
especially solos.
Yeah, kids that are by themselves down here. Maybe their
Right.
teachers aren't
Right.
here and their studios aren't here and they can stay and do boom,
Right.
boom, boom. Okay, that's interesting. All right, now
later this summer, can I talk about that?
Yeah.
Later this summer is the World Dance Pageant, which is, you've judged it. It's an amazing event. It's happened in the Meadowlands in New Jersey.
Yes.
Then we go to the World Dance Championships, and this year we have, I don't know, it's something like 25 cities. I'm not 135, but we have like 25 cities worldwide that will be represented.
Like okay.
World
So
Dance Championship.
the World Dance Pageant is soloists.
Right.
And that's the one where they have the interview, the modeling, the whole kit and caboodle. And they're judged in classes as well.
Right.
And then the World Dance Championships.
Yeah. You had to win a
is-
golden ticket to come to that at a regional at one of the SDA events.
Oh, wow.
So you had to win a golden ticket, and that's usually the highest scoring routine.
Okay.
And all levels, we have level 1, 2, and 3, which is beginner, intermediate, and advanced, will be participating in this event. The great thing about the World Dance Championship, most dance teachers can come and bring their acts that qualified on that day. We narrow it down to the final 5, and then they leave. They're not there the whole week.
Okay.
It's so great for a studio.
Yeah, they can be in and out.
Yeah, in and out. You're
Yeah.
not standing the whole week. You know, you go to the dance awards, you're there for
Yeah.
7 days, 8
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
You go to Starpower Nationals, you're there for 5 days, you know.
Right, right.
But here,
What
one day.
I don't like about the national stuff is the kids are supposed to be in class when they're competing.
Yeah, well,
and it's like-
we try to schedule it so that it's not like that.
Oh, good, good.
I mean, that's not happening over us.
Shoot.
Yeah, we're scheduled, yeah. And the reason why, we understand that. You
Yeah.
know, I'm a parent, I'm also.
You don't want to pay for two things.
No,
and-
my
and
God,
you
no,
can't.
no.
When Jada comes home and says, well, I want to go ice skating but I want to go to the movies. Well, pick one.
Yeah, pick one.
You can't do both.
But at the TDA, it's not like that. They're scheduled so you can
All right, good.
do both. The great thing is we now have Derek and Julianne and Val, an amazing faculty for this new company. It was Ovation, which is a merge of ballroom with performing arts.
But it is now, I mean, it was tough in Pittsburgh to find a ballroom teacher, really tough, but I did. Maybe they only come once a month or something, but I tried really hard. It was even harder to find a hip hop teacher than
Oh my God.
they had a car.
Well, now,
watch.
yeah.
Watch.
That had a car. That's true. But Ovation is a really exciting new product that's going to be launched they're going to be in 7 cities, and it starts in December of 25.
Wow. But just for the kids to go and get to see them.
Oh, the dance with Derek and Julianne. Come on.
I know
They're
that's-
Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
They
Yeah.
are to this generation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, he's
And
amazing.
I love Val and
Yeah, and
Jeff,
he's,
they're
I mean,
great.
they own like 11 ballroom studios in the New York City area. Val and Jenna, I mean, they have their own ballroom. Yeah, absolutely. In New York.
Oh,
and then-
they're going to be the new like Fred Astaire thing.
Yeah, Derek and Julianne are just wonderful people, besides being the most talented people I've ever met in my life. Besides
Wow.
you, Abby.
I'm telling you what, he really took being a male dancer
Yes.
to being like you,
Mm.
to being this huge entrepreneur. I mean, his show,
He's a
his
marketing
this,
genius.
his that, and now being on the judging panel. Like not too many people go from
No, you're
there
right. No,
to there to change.
And his
like,
wife, she
Yeah.
was Miss Star Power like 8 times from Priscilla and Dana's out in Kansas City. She is a lovely, lovely, lovely host. She helped me host the World Dance Pageant last year, or was it just right? She's amazing. They're just amazing.
I know
people.
she went through a lot.
Yeah, she went through a lot with
Yeah,
her brain
yeah,
stuff. And
She's from Dana and Priscilla's. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Where are they from?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Okay.
Kansas City.
I need to
So
call
and
them.
dance.
I'm going to Kansas
Okay, there you go.
soon. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I haven't been.
She's amazing. If you ever get a chance to take from them, please do.
Yeah, take
I
the
mean,
class.
they're inspiring, energetic, thoughtful.
Now, what happens? I'm not savvy to Ovation. I haven't looked at the rules or
Okay,
anything.
okay.
But if a kid is a ballroom dancer,
Mhm.
can they just take the ballroom all day, or do they take the hip hop and the jazz and
A
everything?
lot of that's still being worked through as we speak right now, because the first show isn't until December. So that's a really good question, Abby. And
Yeah.
I
I mean, I like kids to be forced
there's
to
going to be a
take
show
everything.
too, by the way. On Friday night, a show with Julianne and Derek and Val and Jenna.
Red jacket days.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be a show. Yeah, right.
But that's what people should sign up. They
Yeah,
should go
yeah.
because it's worth seeing that show.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to pay for that ticket for that show somewhere else, but
You-
$3.
Oh, if you've
Yes,
ever seen Derek's
Yes.
show,
yes.
oh my God.
And what I like is he utilized a lot of dancers. You
Yes.
know, these out of work kids in LA and hired them and put them out there, and they've learned so much in Vegas.
Well, you know, a lot of people have talked about this, but the best thing that Dance One could ever do for anybody is give a dancer a job. You know, we have all kinds of college scholarship. All these colleges are coming to
Yes.
TDA and Radix this year. We're doing auditions for the Clippers, with the LA Clippers. Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing auditions for Royal Caribbean. We're doing auditions for the new Star Search too, as well. Lots of things happening. This summer is packed.
Now, how long will you be on the road this summer? Are you going to sit
I
here?
leave,
and
no, my God, I leave next Tuesday and I probably won't be back until, well, the Dance Teacher Summit is my baby. And I really want to reach out if there's dance teachers actually watching. I'm sure
Yes.
there's a lot of dance teachers.
So dance teachers, listen, it's called Dance Teachers Summit.
It's in New York. It's August the 8th through the 11th. It's right at the Hilton, right down the street from Radio City.
And that's great because those dates,
August 8th through the 11th.
that's great because those dates, August 8th through the 11th, you're done with all your nationals and your back to school registration hasn't started yet. So you can go.
And you don't have to come with a leotard. You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of business classes, how to increase your social media, how do you break into show bit, you know, it's all that kind of stuff that besides great classes.
How to deal with the psycho mothers.
Yeah, there's a class on that, by the way.
There is
There's a class on that.
But I'm not.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, yeah. And Derek and Julianne will be teaching. We have Misty Copeland there. She's been a keynote speaker. We who else is going to be? I mean, it's just Tyler Peck is there. I mean, it's a star-studded 3 days.
Yes, and it's for you,
They-
not kids.
Not kids. You
You
got to be
don't-
17 or over.
Yeah, don't bring your kids. Well, your own children, I guess, could go in New York City and do stuff while you're.
Yeah,
at the thing.
absolutely. Plus,
But-
it's New York.
Yeah, so go see a Broadway show.
And an ACE Awards.
Oh,
That's huge. The ACE Awards, we've narrowed it down from the hundreds and hundreds
that
of-
applied.
that applied. We're down
I don't know
to
if people know
15.
what that is.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead. You tell them.
well, no, budding choreographers.
Yeah, like
young
like
people
Al Blackstone got his start. He
Yes.
attributes his start
to
to winning the
ACE Awards. Okay, ACE Awards. Now tell everybody what this is because we probably have some young budding choreographers listening.
Yeah, it's really for those young budding choreographers. It's not necessarily just for dance studios, although there were some dance studios who submitted entries this year.
Okay,
And you know, it's like Al Blackstone credits the Aces getting him his start in
Right.
the business, to choreographing for Broadway shows, et cetera, when
Mhm.
he won that. So we have hundreds of people submit through
do
video.
they have to submit just that piece that
They
they're
have to
putting
submit
in,
a
or is
piece.
there
They don't
like
have to use
several
that piece.
pieces?
That just one
Oh,
piece,
okay.
and they don't have to do that piece. They can do another piece of
And what's the time limit on this? Do you know?
3 minutes.
Oh, just like that, so
Yeah,
a whole
yeah,
big
yeah.
concert thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
no, it's not a concert thing. And we narrow it down to like 15. And they come and they compete
in New York City.
in New York City. And that's on
Is it-
Sunday the 10th.
Is it in a theater or is it?
It's
on
we're
stage?
building a theater inside the Hilton.
Okay,
You know, we know how to do that.
yeah,
So,
I've run into that home
Yeah.
before. Yeah,
So
great.
we're building a stage and everything, and there's also 5 other rooms that'll be going on. But anyway, so it's a real prestigious competition, and
What does the winner win?
money,
everybody.
thousands of dollars. I forgot what I think it's 15,000 for the
And,
first place.
but do they get to put their own
Yeah,
concert on?
yeah, and you get to do that, and we are developing content for them moving forward.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's good.
So
It's a real
that's gonna be, I hate to use the word young, but that's gonna be for some budding choreographer out there that's very innovative and does something outside the box, something different that you haven't seen before and does it really well. And they're gonna get their shot. And who knows, they might end up a Broadway choreographer someday.
Well, there'll be 1,000 dance teachers watching, as well as, you know, lots of people from the entertainment field that'll be there that night. It's
So a lot of
real-
people might
it's a
want
real
to
star-studded.
the studio and do a piece.
Exactly,
Wow.
exactly.
Yes. All right, now we got to wrap it up, Gary. We're going to talk about, we talked about Dance One, the new
Global,
umbrella, global. Oh, I want to tell you. So in the World Dance Pageant, I work with the little girl that's coming from Australia.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And yeah, her name's Olivia. She's pretty little girl. And then I have a girl that I work with in Texas in it. And
Oh, wonderful.
it's
I had no idea.
it's really a good program because I cherished and loved my involvement with Dance Masters. I
Oh,
really did.
right, right.
I really did. It was like a bar
I
that
know
was
you,
set
I
for
know you
me
loved it. I
with
know.
those other teachers that were involved in Pittsburgh.
Sure.
And I respected them so much. And I really worked to become on their level. And this, your World Dance Pageant, with all the other things involved, I feel really benefits the kid the most because you're going to learn to speak to people for the rest of your life. You're going to use that, the interview,
The interview.
the
yeah.
modeling, how to carry yourself, how to, it's not like, funky modeling. It's traditional, beautiful girls, posture, elegance. And that's the way I train my girls all the time. So thank you, Gary, for continuing. to
Well,
keep that.
there's still some space this year. We
Oh,
still have
okay.
some space. So anybody out there that would like to, at this particular point, to get,
There are
don't just-
entries in.
right
We can
away.
list all that at the
Okay.
bottom of
Oh,
this
okay, that would be wonderful.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we still have
Right.
some space.
Okay. And they will see you at Ovation
They'll see me everywhere.
everywhere.
You can't get rid of me yet.
Jerry will be everywhere. No, 75, going strong.
Love what
I-
I do.
You love what you do. And it's just amazing that this little boy who was a tap dancer from his mother's studio in Maryland,
Pantomime was my big thing.
Panama, you lip sync.
Lip sync.
Did you do like
Yeah.
this kind of stuff? Or
No. It was like I pantomime like what was the one
What's your
I
big
put a wig
number?
I put a wig on, took it off, hid it behind my back. Louis Prima and Keely Smith. I
gosh.
sing. Remember them?
Oh, well, I don't remember them like I knew them, but I know the music.
What was the name of that music? Oh my God. Anyway, and when the girl was singing, I put the wig on, throw it behind my back, and then when the guy was singing, obviously I was the guy. So
Okay.
and that one
My
song
mother
was-
made me do a solo once where the front of me was the woman and the back of me was the guy.
that's hysterical.
And it was your mama don't dance and your papa don't rock and roll. And I had to be the mama and the papa. And
Wow.
everyone else was doing,
Did it do well?
hit
Did
me with a
people
hot
like it?
note.
Did people
something.
like it?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It sounds good.
Yes.
I
So
think we
it's
should
kind
bring
of
it-
that same
I
thing.
think we should bring
could
it
kind
back.
of do that same thing. We could
We should bring it back.
like wheel around.
Oh, we can wheel around. Yeah, I'm all about wheeling around.
All right, Gary, this has been such a pleasure and an honor to talk to this man who has taken dance to the world and his global competition. You're in Australia, you're in the UK,
Mexico,
Mexico, you're,
Canada,
I mean, everywhere in the
London.
United States. Yes, everywhere.
520 cities worldwide. Over 500,000 performers.
Say that again, right to the camera.
520 cities worldwide and over 500,000 performers.
That's right. 520 cities.
20,000 dance studios too. 20,000 dance studios too.
20,000 dance studios.
Yeah. Because
Do
they
you
know we're
never miss owning your studio?
never. I don't, because the parents would line up as I was coming out of my class and go, why is Sally not in the front? And I would have,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I've
Sally
taken on
Knox.
dance teachers who I love. Well, dance teachers, they're like my peers. I could love them.
Well,
I love
yeah,
it.
because you know what we go through
Yes,
to
I know
get
what
to that
Yes, I know what
point
you're
to be
doing.
there with you. Yes.
Yes, on a
Yes.
weekend that's going from 7 to 11, 7 to 11.
Yes.
It's like, I get it. And I'm so respectful and so appreciative of them. So,
Wow.
yeah.
We appreciate you, Gary.
Well,
I'm sure every dance teacher in the
I
world.
appreciate you, and
Yes.
you've had a remarkable career, that's for sure.
I'm glad that we're friends now. We don't have all that
Yeah.
crap going on. Yes. I remember taking my shirt off or something.
Oh
and-
no, Chuck,
And-
who passed away. A
Yes,
really great
yes,
friend of mine.
Yes,
I
yes.
just miss him so much every day. He was a magician too. I was a magician too for a long time.
Okay.
So he did it's called the bra trick, and where you just take two handkerchiefs and tie them together, and you kind of push it right down in the
Uh-huh.
there just a little bit,
Okay.
and then you go 1, 2, 3, boom, and then a bra comes off, like
Right.
it's your
Right.
bra.
And
And
he
he
really tied to
yeah,
another bra. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's tied to
Okay.
another rope.
Yeah.
So I gave the trick away now. The magicians are going to be mad at me. Anyway, but anyway, we did that trick on you.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. Keep
You
it.
did that on me?
Yes, we did that on you. And he,
That's not what I'm talking about. One night I left the competition. I walked to, they must have told me that you threw me out. I walked to the police station. The
oh, I
police-
remember this.
The
I
police
remember.
go back and get my purse because
Yeah.
my bag wasn't with me. I had no identification. And I didn't realize
You were
that.
getting your nails done or something. Somebody told me you were going to go get your nails done.
I left, I went back, I got on a plane. I've never done that in my life where you go to the counter at the airport and buy a plane ticket. And I did that. I got on a plane, I went back. A guy that I was seeing was flying in that same night to LAX from wherever he was.
Yeah.
And I waited for him and we got an Uber and it was one of the best nights of my life. So I'm just gonna leave that out there. We're
Yeah.
leaving that on the dance floor.
I think we leave that. We're out of here on that
Yes.
note. Trust me. Oh my God.
All
See you
right.
later, guys. Nice talking.
Thank you so much. Where can they find you on social media?
They can't. I am not on social media.
Sorry. Leave it on the dance floor. Thank you so much to all of our ALDC elites for listening, for following us.
Elites, who are they?
They're
Who are-
they're my viewers, my fan club.
Okay.
Yes.
You got a lot of fans, that's
Yes.
for sure.
Yes. So I will see you next time on Leave It on the Dance Floor.
It's always fun with you, Abby. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Okay.
Let's dance ourselves out. Come on, Gary. Yeah. Yeah.
ALDC Elites, thank you so very much for listening. Be sure to subscribe and give Leave It on the Dance Floor a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to watch each week and see exclusive behind-the-scenes content like my never seen before pictures and videos from the competitions, some even taken from the wings, classes at the ALDC studio in Pittsburgh, or even our iconic dance concerts, head over to Patreon or become a member on YouTube Premium, linked in the show notes each week. See you on the flip side.